Hello and welcome to the Academy television channel. This morning we're in the West End of London, literally just a stone's throw from Telecom Tower. This is the part of town where all the TV facilities houses live. And this morning I am at the offices of Vision IPTV. And as its name suggests, that's a different kind of facilities house dealing with both traditional television but also internet television. I'm with John Mills, the Managing Director. John, what led you to set up a facility like this that deals specifically with IP television?
Myself and my business partner, Matt Vidmer, myself from a commercial perspective, him from a technological perspective, both believe that the future of TV, the future of the distribution of television is really bound up with the growth of broadband internet. I was previously commercial director at a company called Home Choice, which was a sort of pioneer of IPTV, ahead of its time, but gained a great insight into what you can do when you can deliver television over the internet to a television set. Matt was for many years involved in broadcast TV facilities and technologies. He pioneered file-based broadcast playout, in the 90s, the big move from sort of tape-based to IP-based playout. So from different perspectives, we both had this vision that IPTV or the internet was going to be key to the future. But when we looked around at everybody that was playing in that space, they were all coming very much from a kind of a PC and a web-centric background, as opposed to a sort of professional broadcaster background. So that's where we sort of decided to pitch our tent.
So traditional television facilities with an interface to take them into IP.
Exactly. And it's things like scheduling. Most IPTV today is video on demand. Libraries of content that one can search for and then watch. Think BBC iPlayer or Hulu and services like this, and they're great. Particularly when you watch on a TV set, it's a lean back experience. You sit down, you turn the telly on, you expect something to be there. If what you get is a search interface, then I'm not sure that's necessarily the first thing people want on TV. So we work very hard to create the ability for channels or content owners, if they don't have existing channels, to schedule content into an attractive user experience. But then we add to it, based on what the internet can deliver that satellite can't. It's a two-way interactive medium. So, when we create a schedule and deliver it, the viewer can look at the programme guide, and if they like a programme that happens to be on at 10 o'clock tonight, they can click that and watch it right now, rather than going off to some separate sort of catch-up TV service.
So both for the broadcaster and for the viewer, a much better kind of segue from traditional to sort of new way of using.
Yeah, we sort of, people often talk about, revolutions in TV viewing, but we prefer to think of it as an evolution. We think there's a great opportunity to, capitalise on what was good about broadcast television, but add some things to it which are, made possible by its delivery over a two-way interactive medium, i.e. the internet.
In terms of facilities, just take us through what you can offer to clients.
So if I start on the roof, we've got an extensive downlink facility here in the teleport. We can downlink any channel we can physically see in the sky from London. At the same time, we have links with teleports in other parts of the world via private fibre. So, I can, pretty much get any channel broadcast anywhere in the world into this facility, in a day or two. Then we have the ability to, to capture, to ingest, to encode, to transcode all of that content. We have a pretty extensive sort of data center facility here, where we host the content. We have live content creation facilities here. We have, I think, now 5 facilities in the building, which are typically rented out to broadcast channel partners. And they're fully integrated both into the sort of satellite playout workflow, also the internet broadcast workflow. For satellite, everything is highly automated. It's all file-based. We have very simple scheduling tools that people can use. We can do multiple graphics overlays, all the normal things that you would expect. And then we have a pretty extensive private fibre network which connects this building to all the main uplink providers. And that's a key feature of what we do. I mean, speed to deployment is one of our key competitive advantages, actually. And then on the internet side of the workflow, as I mentioned before, we've been creating over the last 18 months a very comprehensive platform to manage content and to display it and to distribute it. We have, as I say, a data center here where our media and web servers are hosted. They're also mirrored over at in Docklands at Telehouse, and we've invested in the creation of our own content delivery network. So we have our own fibre from here to there, and then we're peering directly with two tier 1 internet transit providers. We do a lot of things in the value chain, and we do that very deliberately. I mean, people often say, why don't you outsource that to somebody? Our answer is that, for where we focus in the market, which is, professional users, major broadcasters, etc., doing it ourselves actually gives us a greater degree of control and frees us from, costly dependencies on third parties. So everything we do is optimized for, moving video at high quality, either to a broadcast uplink facility or to consumers over the internet.
As a new channel or a traditional channel, therefore, you can offer a full kind of soup to nuts service.
Absolutely. And as a smaller provider, we compete against some very big players. That sort of personal attention and rapid service is crucial to us.
Give me an idea of some of the clients that you are dealing with.
Probably our best known client at the moment is Russia Today, which is a 24/7 news channel, broadcast globally. We also work with a range of other channels. Peace TV, who are a major broadcaster in the sort of Islamic sector. We work with Christian channels as well, like Open Heaven, Glory TV. Other niche markets like home shopping, and we actually broadcast the home shopping channel out of here. They actually use our studios upstairs. The whole thing is done in-house. And many of these guys now are starting to use the internet platform as well. I think in total we have about 40 internet TV channels being broadcast from here at the moment, including Russia Today, all 4 versions of their channel, and NetPlay, for whom we do, I think, 5 or 6 gambling channels. We have a whole stable of Greek channels that we deliver to consumers here.
So when it comes to internet channels, what are the criteria for success?
We're really looking for 2 things. We're looking for, identifiable markets, niche markets. We prefer to call them vertical markets. They may be niche in one country, but if one looks at the world, which you can do with the internet, then in aggregate they can be pretty large markets. So we're looking for markets which have got low competitive intensity. I don't think there's any, mileage in, providing services which are already well provided by satellite, but just doing it over IP. I mean, the added value isn't significant, in my opinion. So, for example, one of the markets we address is the Polish community here in the UK, which is somewhere between 1 and 1.5 million people, we believe. I mean, there are no Polish channels on Sky or cable or Freeview. So you've got a lot of people here who are eager to watch Polish television who find it difficult to do so. So that's a good market for us. It's a reasonable size, low competitive intensity. And the other key thing for us is to find a partner that has real credibility in that market. I mean, I know nothing about the TV requirements of the Polish community, but I have a partner who does. So in that particular example, we work with an organisation who is the largest publisher of Polish language newspapers and websites here in the UK. So their media is already read by 500,000 Polish people a week. So A, they understand what Poles want to watch. B, they possess the means to reach that community. And that's the holy trinity for us. A good market, low competition, and a partner that can reach the market cost effectively. The service, Polska Plus, has been going for a couple of months now, but we've already got over 20,000 users every month. And many of those are actually paying for content.
How much potential do you see in these niche markets?
I mean, we see huge potential. I mean, on the basis that 100 niches adds up to a big audience, and we've designed the platform in such a way that it's very cost effective for us to replicate this time and time again with a very different look and feel each time. We're all running on one central infrastructure. So we have a very much a sort of portfolio strategy here. We actively encourage people to come in and see us with their ideas, and they walk in here 3 or 4 times a week. People walk past the building, they see the advert on the window, and they literally come in and say, oh, that's interesting, I'm thinking of launching a channel for witches. That may not be a great idea, but 2 weeks before that, somebody came in and said they were thinking of doing something for Harley Street, which is a great idea, great global brand, synonymous with medical excellence, a partner there that is already working, doing all sorts of stuff on Harley Street, and we're now working with that organisation to see whether we can develop Harley Street TV into something. So we start by talking to lots of people. We try and apply some of our experience to sort of hone in on the ones that have good market, the ability to reach that market, perhaps access to content. And then what we do critically, rather than spending months and months planning and prognosticating, we use our facilities and our platform to actually launch the service. And of course the beauty of doing it on the internet is everything's so measurable. So we can launch these things for next to no external cost. We can analyse, we can see what's doing, we can close it down if it's not working, or we can start to develop it. We have a vision of making this facility into a hothouse, an incubator almost, for lots of these things, where we're sharing some central resource that can be used to make all these services look better. I mean, it's a real weakness, I think, of a lot of internet TV services, that they're a fairly sterile library of content, where what people expect on television is promotion and packaging. But that costs money, and it requires facilities, and it requires skilled people. And it's very difficult for any individual sort of start-up internet content business to afford all that. What we try to do is provide a central facility where those things can be shared across lots of start-ups, and progressively, as we see the operating metrics of those businesses, we might start to invest cash in them, so on and so forth. So what we try to do is we have a sort of pyramid strategy. We start by shaking hands and kissing lots of people.
Let 1,000 flowers bloom.
Absolutely, and what we hope to end up with is maybe half a dozen truly global niche internet TV stars. So if I look at the gay lesbian market, for example, globally, this could be 45, 50 million households on broadband in sort of reasonably developed countries. That's a huge market. They have a interest in high quality TV with gay and lesbian protagonists, and that content's out there, but it's not aggregated, and that's the sort of thing we want to set out to do. So we'll start talking to hundreds of people and maybe end up with 5 or 6 really, really great services at the end that are very valuable. But having the facilities is what gives us the ability to do this, because if we had to spend money to pay someone else to do all of these things, we probably wouldn't.
So you can provide a very low cost of entry, excellent measurement of success, and then you can pick winners.
Absolutely.
What about the business models for these niche channels? Is it a blend of advertising and subscription and possibly pay-per-view?
Well, we see really there are 3 possible models. Either the viewer pays, via some subscription or pay-per-view mechanism, or we try and create video properties, if you like, that are attractive to advertisers and they pay. Or, in some cases, content providers themselves will pay. We have, as part of our portfolio strategy, a key element of that is to have exposure to all of these models, because I don't think any one model will necessarily win. It will depend on the specific type of service that we're talking about. So some of our sort of ethnic services, and like Polska Plus or Hellenic TV, or Quad, which is our service for the gay lesbian community, these are predominantly based on the user paying, either via we have a sort of pay-as-you-watch model where you put money in a wallet and then you watch content, and your wallet is debited according to some price rules. as we move forward, I think that will be replaced with more of a subscription model where you pay a fixed amount and watch as much as you want every month. Then we have other services. A good example would be Boats on TV. That's aimed at the sailing fraternity. There's lots of them. They tend to be pretty affluent. What we try to do there is create really good sailing content that's, you know, very bespoke to the needs of that audience, and build up a viewer base there, which will then be attractive both to, you know, vertical market advertisers, you know, people selling sails or wet weather gear, but also to sort of, you know, more horizontal advertisers, like people selling Rolex watches or, you know, anything that they want to market to an affluent audience. And then finally, we have some models where we think content providers pay. And this is something that is less developed, but we're trying to move this forward in the Christian market. It's already well established in satellite terms, where, you know, ministries and the like will pay to have their content on a satellite channel, and we try to do the same in terms of the internet.
So you can take a satellite broadcaster and turn them into an IP broadcaster, and presumably, of course, you can take a successful IP broadcaster and turn them into a satellite channel.
Exactly. I mean, you know, we haven't got to that stage yet, but you know, I do believe that some of the things we're doing will get to a point where there is mileage in making a linear channel available on satellite, and at that point, you know, it's all the same content, it's the same scheduling. It's just an MPEG-2 stream that we play out to, you know, over a MUX to the satellite uplink, rather than, you know, Windows Media or a flash stream that we play out on the internet infrastructure. It's that integration of the two that's important. I should add as well, I mean, it's not just, you know, satellite and internet to PC. I mean, increasingly, you know, mobile is starting to take off as a medium for TV consumption. So we've just recently created a sort of I forget what the technical people call it, some Uber app that we can then reskin for our clients. So we can, you know, we can put you on satellite, we can put you on the internet to a PC, we can deliver it to an iPhone, we can deliver it to an internet set-top box. You know, all these things are possible from here.
So looking to the future, I mean, how do you see the ecosystem developing, the balance between traditional linear television and television over the internet?
I mean, I'm a firm believer that the future is over the top. You know, it's network agnostic. You know, you only have to think back to the late 90s. You know, nobody listened to audio on the internet because we were using dial-up modems, and, you know, audio files were too big. You know, now everyone listens to audio on the internet because files are small and pipes are big, and the same thing I think is happening to video. From where we sit, you know, we only need to worry that the majority of people can get nearly 4 meg. You know, I deliver a great picture at 1 megabit per second, that's going to get through. You know, I think there's a lot of talk about, you know, ISPs trying to muscle in and you know, restrict people's usage, but I think that genie is out of the bottle. I think customers will increasingly demand the ability to watch television online, and if networks try and prevent that, then they're going to lose customers, because some networks will welcome it. So maybe the pricing will change. Maybe you'll pay to have a sort of TV broadband subscription rather than just an email only one. But, you know, I think you know, it won't get restricted there. So I think it's over the top. You know, I don't think satellite will die. I think, as you know, if you're a big TV provider, you know, it's a very cost-effective way of reaching a lot of people with the same content. But I think for where we focus with the sort of niche strategy, you know, the internet is the big door opener. But I think, you know, it will all be viewed on the TV set. You know, and I think that's where, you know, hopefully what we've developed will come into its own, because when people sit in the lounge, it's a lean-back experience. You know, want to turn the telly on, they might want to watch BBC One, and that might be delivered via Freeview. But if they're Polish, they might want to flip over to Polska Plus, you know, which will never be on Freeview in a million years at 6 million a year or whatever it costs. But if they can flip, you know, with the remote control to high quality Polish television, then that we think is a valuable proposition and one that people will pay for. You know, so I think it's over the top, but I think it will be to the television set, whether that's through set-top boxes, whether it's netbook PCs or sort of fully integrated TVs that just plug into your router.